Now, Floyd Mayweather is scheduling to fight Tenshin Nasukawa at Rizin. What? Nobody saw this coming. There have been a lot of talks about Khabib fighting Floyd Mayweather. There have been talks about even a potential rematch with Conor, more so than a fight with a guy in Rizin and Tenshin Nasukawa. Now, if you guys don't know who Tenshin Nasukawa is, he is one of the biggest prospects in MMA as well as kickboxing. He does both. He is also undefeated in both. He's 4-0 in MMA with 3 finishes and 1 decision. In kickboxing, he's 27-0. And he even beat a guy in Kyoji Horiguchi, who although isn't a kickboxer, who is a high-level Shotokan karate fighter. But what does this all mean? Why would Floyd Mayweather take on a young 20-year-old in Rizin who is pretty much unknown on the Western Hemisphere? And why would he fight in Rizin? And why would he even go to Japan to fight? The only thing I think he's trying to do is he's trying to create some kind of business over there. And this is his way to come through the gates. So fight a young guy, most likely in a boxing match, because if it's anything more than a boxing match, and I'll even push it with elbows, this is drastically more dangerous to Floyd Mayweather's safety in a fight. Anything more and it's too much. Even if you throw in knees with the elbows, and remember, I'm just pushing it with the elbows, this fight is drastically favored for Tenshin Nasukawa to win it. And even though Tenshin is much, much smaller than Floyd Mayweather, we're talking about a 5'5" flyweight in MMA, which is a 125-pound fighter. And Floyd Mayweather is 5'8", and he fights anywhere from 140 to 154. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. If you include leg kicks, this fight is not going to last long. If you add in knees with elbows, this fight's not going to last long. If you make it a full-blown MMA fight, this will be a calamity, a disaster unlike anything we've ever seen before in combat sports. I mean, we're talking about Floyd has to get on DEFCON 1 level defense here or preparation for the catastrophe that's going to be coming his way. This fight's going to be over very, very quickly. Now, there have been only a little bit of detail saying that this fight is most likely going to be a 3-round, 3-minute fight. So every round is going to be 3 minutes, it's going to be 3 rounds. Kickboxing? Because that's the closest it's getting to. Kickboxing has a very similar outline of a fight, you know. Boxing is 10 to 12 rounds, usually, 3 minutes each round. And MMA is 5-minute rounds, and there's usually 3 or 5. This tells me it might be a kickboxing bout, but it is an exhibition fight. So it could also be a boxing fight. But if it's a kickboxing fight, someone better help Floyd Mayweather for this one. Floyd better be hiring every elite kickboxer of every style in the book to help him, and he has to be going through a crash course because they're going to be fighting December 30 in Rizin 14. Oh, Kyoji Horiguchi's also on that. Derek Cruikshank's also on it. Definitely going to tune in. But December 30th, that's in a month and a half. Floyd can't be stupid enough to make this a full-blown kickboxing bout. It has to be a boxing fight with modified rules, probably to cater to Tenshin Nasukawa. But if he wants to just be the complete A side here, make it a boxing fight. But 3-minute rounds, that sounds like kickboxing to me. Or just a small boxing fight. That there won't be a lot going into it. Which tells me at the end of the day, this is just Floyd getting to the market. He's just getting into this side. He's running through the gates. And the way he gets through the gatekeeper is having this fight. And then he gets all the business opportunities in Japan or whatever it is. And he also said he wants to start an MMA promotion. This also might be a way to get it into Japan and create some eyes for a potential organization. Let's say he beats Tenshin Nasukawa and he goes and promotes this whole thing. I recommend you guys watching Tenshin Nasukawa's fights to get a real look and be able to measure his skills and how crazy this idea is. In a genuine fight, this guy is no joke. Tenshin Nasukawa is infinitely better in Floyd Mayweather than everything else other than boxing. We're talking about a real-life prodigy right here. And if you look at his perspective, why not take this fight? Whoever you are, if you're going to be fighting Floyd Mayweather under any rules, under any banner, under any sport, of course you're going to take the fight. So it makes perfect sense for Nasukawa, a 20-year-old, to get paid, right? And he also runs the opportunity to beat a guy like Floyd Mayweather, who is a big name. If it's more than a boxing fight and people don't understand how dangerous this guy is, Nasukawa, he also puts his name on the map for future bouts in his organization. So he becomes a full-blown superstar over there, which is already what he's creating over there. Over there in Japan, over there on the Asian sphere, Nasukawa is becoming a huge superstar. And if he beats Floyd, who is the biggest superstar in North America, as well as probably the world when it comes to combat sports, he'll be known everywhere. And everybody will be lobbying to have this guy. We've seen trades with the UFC and ONE FC. A lot of that's going to be going on now, I believe. And when Nasukawa, if he goes out there and beats Floyd Mayweather, there's going to be a lot of people wanting to trade for Nasukawa. And he's 20 years old. He's 20 years old. There's so much more to his legacy here. He would be the gold mine for all promoters in the world, all the way from boxing to MMA. As soon as he becomes a free agent, all the promoters are going to get their checkbooks out. It's going to be a crazy scene if he gets this win over Floyd. And actually, I suspect Floyd Mayweather might try to sign Tenshin Nasukawa if he's actually going to go for an MMA promotion. Sign Tenshin Nasukawa after their fight or sometime in the future. Because he got his eyes on this guy for some reason, right? This young 20-year-old, exciting style, smaller guy, and sees a lot of potential in him, right? Very skeptical that Floyd Mayweather was able to notice a guy like Nasukawa. But of course, it's all going to have to happen after his contract with Rizin is up, or if he doesn't decide to sign with Rizin because of other negotiations. Now, there was almost nothing specifically detailed here. The rules, the gloves, most likely going to be a ring because in Rizin they do fight in a ring and Floyd always fights in a ring, so that's the one thing we do know, which is going to be comfortable for both fighters. What weight it's going to be at, if it's going to be under Floyd Mayweather's promotions, I suspect it's going to be a collaboration with both Rizin and Mayweather promotions. How much is Nasukawa going to get paid? There's so much we don't know about this. And they're pretty much leaving us in suspense. This news came out of nowhere, man. I am shocked to see Floyd Mayweather do this. But he's a smart businessman. He's older. So is he really looking at to continue his legacy in the actual sport? I think he's just looking for opportunities to create more money. That's what I think. And that's what he's always been looking for. He's been fighting Conor McGregor. He wants to fight Khabib. He wants to fight Conor in a rematch. And now he's fighting Tenshin Nasukawa. He's fighting everybody but boxers. Low risk with the highest reward fights. And these special matches, these crossovers, automatically generate interest to some level, especially with casual fans. Amongst the boxing hardcore fans, they're probably thinking like, what is this guy doing, man? Same thing with the kickboxing hardcore fans, same thing with the MMA hardcore fans, because Nasukawa is pretty much representing both of those entities. And this just speaks to how powerful Floyd Mayweather is in combat sports. This speaks to what he can do that nobody else can do. He's able to cross over to any sport under any organization whenever he chooses. Right? Even in the UFC, when Dana White said, we welcome Floyd. Everybody says, we welcome Floyd. But everybody's saying, we don't want to fight him in boxing. How powerful is this guy, man? To be able to do everything he wants. And everybody welcomes it. Besides a lot of the hardcore fans. I believe a lot of the hardcore fans really don't like these ideas because we want the purity of the sport, of course. The spectacle that is Floyd Mayweather nowadays. Everybody's going to tune to it. Even the hardcore fans, of course, going to tune to it. It's just not something we prefer, right? And Floyd Mayweather also posted a picture of himself with Rizin MMA gloves. That can also be a possibility. Boxing with MMA gloves, that will also play to Floyd Mayweather's advantage here. But I think it's just Floyd Mayweather playing with the fans and generating a little bit more interest. But Nasukawa is going to be the best striker Floyd Mayweather's ever fought outside of boxing, or potentially can fight outside of boxing, right? Better striker than Conor. Better striker than Khabib, I believe. He's fought most of his career in kickboxing, in professional kickboxing. He's beat some good guys. And just skill-wise, and just through technique, this guy is absolutely no joke. I highly, highly recommend you guys to watch Tenshin Nasukawa's fights. I, as well as many other analysts, many other experts, many other journalists, many other promoters, fighters, everybody's high on Tenshin Nasukawa. And this might be the first time in Floyd Mayweather's career where his speed would actually be overmatched. Nasukawa's main thing is his speed and his fundamentals. Fundamentals and the speed behind them makes them look flashy, but they're not. All the techniques are very basic. Round left kicks, straight left hands, jabs. Nothing is coming outside of these looping ranges. Everything's very narrow. Now, if it's a boxing match, of course I have Floyd Mayweather winning the fight. He's too experienced. His defense is going to be the biggest thing coming into that fight, of course. He's going to be a little bigger as well. His straight right hand is going to be a huge weapon against Nasukawa, especially with that reach advantage. Now, if it's a kickboxing bout, Nasukawa should win this fight relatively easy. Leg kicks all day until he presents potentially a head kick or even a body kick finish. Kicks, when you bring them to the equation, it just changes everything. It changes absolutely everything. If I were to make a bet, I would bet less than 12 leg kicks would finish this fight. Whether it be that to stop the fight or set up a head kick. That's how I believe Nasukawa would probably win that fight. Keep it at a range longer than boxing range because kickboxing range is longer than boxing range, generally speaking, foreign to Floyd Mayweather. It just slammed those kicks to the legs all day. Hit him to the calf, switch kick if Floyd Mayweather starts to train a little bit of kicking defense. Just make it very unorthodox for Floyd. If it comes to an MMA bout, that's going to be even quicker of a finish for Tenshin Nasukawa. One takedown and it's all over. And he has kicks there as well. In an MMA bout, Floyd Mayweather is going to have to really change his stance, really change the way he approaches a fight. Can't be so long with that lead leg because it's going to be there for the taking for that single leg takedown. And even a guy like Nasukawa, who only has 4 fights professionally, you bet he's trained that single leg already. Every MMA fighter has trained wrestling. Every single one. Every MMA fighter has trained boxing, has trained kickboxing, has trained Muay Thai, has trained BJJ. And not knowing any of that is going to really be a disadvantage. Now, I believe Floyd did say that he did train wrestling, and I think he said he was going to train with Tyron Woodley, which is an excellent wrestler to train with, but of course not going to be enough against a guy who has trained a couple of years in MMA as well as wrestling. So this is crazy news. This is completely unexpected, and we just have to wait what happens next. There hasn't been too many details on this, and I'm really looking forward to what kind of fight these guys are going to compete in. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you enjoy my content, make sure to subscribe. Leave a comment below what your guys' thoughts on this are, because I can't be the only one that thinks this is crazy, right? I woke up, looked at my phone, and just blown away. I almost didn't believe what I was seeing right there. I was like, wait, I'm tripping. But no, Floyd is really doing these crazy things. And for my next video, I'm going to come out with breakdowns of the card last Saturday. I'm going to come out with a couple of those today, so be on the lookout for those. And my podcast is going to be later this week. I don't know exactly which day, but be tuned during the weekday before the weekend. And if you guys haven't put in your questions, you can tweet me them and hashtag them MMA meeting. And my Twitter handle's under every video and every description box. Or you can leave a comment in my YouTube page under the community tab where I posted questions for podcasts. And again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.